Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You know what you need to do, you've prayed about it, you've journaled about it, you've even made a whole plan step by step, and yet when it's time to actually do it, you freeze, you scroll, you convince yourself that suddenly organizing your sock drawer is urgent. Before you know it, the whole day has gone. Once again. And listen, I already know what you're about to say. No, Karen, it's not that bad. I'm just busy today. I had a lot of things on my plate. What happened to yesterday and last week? I say this with love, but if we keep things the same way, this will keep happening. And I know because I've been there. So today we'll talk about exactly why this happened and how to break free. Welcome to the Keren Elijah podcast. Hi, I'm Keren, your follow-through mentor, follow-through big sis. Which honestly is hilarious because if you consider the number of times I've struggled with follow-through myself, you wonder. But that's exactly why we're talking about this today. I've been there. That moment when you know exactly what you need to do, but for some reason you can't get yourself to do it. You keep telling yourself, I just need more clarity. Maybe I should pray about this more. Maybe now is not the right time. And if you're being honest, most times it's not about clarity, it's about courage. And I'm not saying this to call you out. I'm saying this because I have literally lived it. And so today we're going to talk about what actually is stopping you from following through and how to finally break out of it. To do that, let me tell you a story. There was a time when I had everything set up, the strategy, the plan, the deadline, and yet I didn't do it. Now let me be clear. I wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. I was fake busy, that kind of, I'm busy. Let me clear my inbox. Something important just came up. So let me clean out my inbox. I spent way too long designing something that had already been designed in Canva because I just wanted it to look just right. And of course I told myself, let me pray about this thing one more time. Listen, if we're praying about the same thing for the 50th time, at some point we have to ask, am I waiting on God or is God waiting on me? And if that one punched you in the chest a little, yeah, I felt it too, because that was me. Maybe it's you too. And if it is, I need you to know it's not because you're lazy. It's deeper than that. Alright, let's break it down. When we struggle with execution, it's really about not being disciplined enough. Most of the time it's about emotional overload. It could be because you've been carrying so much mentally and you don't have that energy to execute things. Or maybe it's the fear of visibility. Taking action means being seen, and that feels scary. Some of us care about what people say or think about us. If we are in an environment and we want to do something, we care so much about those people that knew us before, but we have permission to change and evolve, right? But then there's that resistance. Another thing that can make execution hard is that fear of failure or even success. What if I mess this up? Or maybe even worse, what if it succeeds and then what next? Or it could be that your nervous system is overwhelmed because you've been in survival mode for so long and execution feels unsafe. It's like, if I take action, then what next? And this is why you're telling yourself, just be more disciplined. And that's why it doesn't work. Because your brain doesn't ask, what should I do? It asks, does this feel safe to do? And if your body feels unsafe, if it senses uncertainty, pressure, fear, anxiety, it's going to shut down. And if this is you, don't worry, you're not alone. And I've got something that would help. So if your brain has been treating execution like a threat, if every time you sit down, you start to feel resistance rise up, if you've been stuck in the circle of knowing but not doing, here is the real truth. At some point, it's not about awareness, it's about decision. Your fears are valid. Your nervous system is protecting you. But at one point, you have to decide, will I keep this from stopping me? Or will I move anyway? Most of us aren't confused. We're just waiting for things to be easier before we start. And at some point, you and I need to stop lying to ourselves that we need another session to journal our thoughts out, or maybe we need prophetic word, or maybe we need to pray for the 40th time. Because the truth is, we just need to do that thing you already know you need to do. So what's it going to be? Because sometimes the hardest part isn't actually doing, it's figuring out why exactly doing something feels so hard in the first place. And to help with that, I created quiz. I know this is hitting some of us, plus me included, because I'm talking to myself too. And listen, I get it. That's exactly why I created this quiz. Because sometimes what's stopping you is something you're not aware. But when you know why exactly action feels hard for you, then you can actually move differently. You have a different energy around you. There's this kind of confidence that comes with knowing. So with this quiz I created, because I'm a quiz girl. I like quizzes because it helps me internalize. I'm a deep thinker, so I love to do self-discovery. And I created this quiz for people like me. I guess if you're listening to this, you can relate. And here's what the quiz is going to help you do: to break down your exact execution block. And it would give you like a personalized next step on how to get moving, because there are dreams, there are visions, there are assignments that God has given to us that we can't be sleeping on. And this would also give you that relief knowing, oh, I'm not bad at following through. I just need to have a different approach to do things and help me get moving. So if you're interested in knowing where to get the quiz, it's on my website, KerenElijah.com/quiz, or you can also check the show notes of the podcast and you get the link there. And then once you've gotten your results, I would like for you to reach out to me on Instagram and let me know how this helped you. And my Instagram handle is @KerenElijah. I don't just want you to take this quiz and move on, because if I'm honest, okay, let's pause for a moment. Let me share something with you. Maybe that will tie everything I'm saying here today. Make it a bit more real, I guess. Just a little over a year ago, I lost my sister. It was impromptu. Death is always impromptu. It's not like you planned it. But it was just unexpected. It was not some kind of long-winded sickness or something. It was just sudden death. And for a while, it felt impossible for me to move. And I knew what I needed to do, but I couldn't get myself to move because I was overwhelmed by grief. At a point, I was like, okay, I know I'm grieving. Life needs to move on. But how do I take that step? How do I follow through on what needs to be done? I knew I needed to move, but I couldn't. Not because I didn't care, not because I wasn't called, but because grief sat on my chest like a weight I couldn't shake. And maybe for you, it's not grief. Maybe it's disappointment. Maybe it's exhaustion. But can I tell you something I had to learn the hard way? You don't have to wait until you feel light to move. You don't have to be fully healed to take a step. You just have to trust God enough to move while you're healing. It wasn't an easy lesson, but at least I'm here today and I'm sharing this podcast episode with you. So let me ask you, when you look back at this season of your life, do you want to remember it as a season when you hesitated, or a season you moved in faith? Hesitation will always take and ask for more time. But faith asks for a decision. So I want to ask you, what's one tiny move you can make today? You can say it out loud, you can write it out, or you can even DM it to me. But whatever you do, don't let today end without moving. Because when you take that step, God meets you there every single time. So take the step and let God handle the rest. I'll see you in the next episode.